Well, hello there, my Aries collective sun, moon, rising signs. Welcome to your What Do I Need read for this a full moon to new moon next February 2020. I am your reader, Mark-Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and really happy to be doing this reading for you. This is the last of the What Do I Need reads for this time around. I will be starting with the Path of True Love readings next, and you guys start. So that's how I do it. I go Pisces to Aries and Aries to Pisces, so y'all don't have to wait so long in between, right? At least the people on the end. If you are new to my channel, please do like and subscribe. I'm getting closer and closer every day to that 1,000 subscriber mark so I can do super live chat. And I have promised my subscribers that I would do a little ditty once a month or so, or first couple of months at least, called Drunk Tarot. There's a link in the description box below explaining what that is. Go check it out. It's quite a bit of fun. That video itself, it is my favorite of 2019, so go check it out. I think you'll enjoy it and you'll want to like and subscribe to watch me do Drunk Tarot on super live chat, where then you can toss a coin to your witch. And if you'd like to do that now, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, but I am a Virgo. I do give good description box. That being said, let's get down to business with this reading at hand. This is a general reading, right? Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. It's not going to fit everybody every single time, nor is every piece of information just for one. It might all be just for one person, but you can't read all of the people all of the time. So please do check your other signs. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, because it really is a puzzle piece thing, particularly with my readings. I'm a mystic. I get guidance and grace all day long. I ask for it, I pray for it, I keep my eyes open, I tune myself, but you know, it's still just puzzle pieces. It's just clues for all of us, right? Well, particularly as a mystic, right? The divine mystery of it all. You just follow the guidance and the grace the best that you can, which leads into what this reading is about. What Do I Need reading is pretty much just that, and you can do them every day. You could pick, you know, an angel card or a tarot card or a rune or an oracle of any kind you like, and just sit there for a moment and say, okay, divine, whoever, whatever, higher power, I have no idea. All I know is I'm a soul in a body with a name, playing a character. I've got this on my to-do list. I got this that's required of me. Who knows what's going to get done today? But what do I need, right? As a spirit in body, as a soul playing a character, what do I need to be aware of? What do I need to do? Great prayer from the Course in Miracles. Dear God, please show me what you would have me do, where you would have me go, what you would have me say, and to whom, right? That sort of deal. That's what this is, using 7 different decks, really only 7 cards, one from each deck, different voices of the divine, the angels, the divine feminine goddess, the divine masculine god, the ascended masters, and the higher selves of all involved, your higher self, asking them. Oh, and the last deck at the end is all of them together, right? Asking them, what do I need from this full moon in Leo, which is on the 8th, it's on the 9th, Sunday, February 9th, right around the corner. But it's at like, full moon's at like 2:23 a.m. Eastern, so you might want to do your magic, your prayer, your meditation, your full moon stuff on Saturday night, just saying. But this reading is from that full moon on the 9th to the new moon in Pisces on the 23rd. So it's asking, what do I need for a waning moon, which can be about loss and letting go and shrinking things. Great for losing weight, great for releasing stress, but, you know, can be a little tricky. It depends on your interpretation of how to wane or shrink or let go, right? Of what's, I guess, being waned, shrank, or let go of, so to speak. So you with me? Last thing, really important, I think the most important thing, please be conscious of your breath while you go through readings, at least with me, although I think it's wise advice for any divinatory process, because when you are aware, because you're going to breathe anyway, when you're aware of your breath, you're partnering with your breath, you're present, so you're in the present moment, you catch more, right? Not just of what's being said here in the reading, but also your own intuitive reactions, responses, impulses to the reading, right? Because in the present moment is the divine. The divine is always in the present moment. So when I find still point, and I find it in between the inhale and the exhale, and between the exhale and the inhale, that little, it's just the best way I can say it, it's ringing a silent bell. It's just that plugs me into the divine, right? and I change for each deck, right? For each level of consciousness, or if you want to say it, channel. I hate that word, but you know what I mean. So if you're doing the same, you're attuning to the same energy, frequency, vibration as I am, but I'm translating it through cards and through words. You're actually going to be feeling it. Cool, cool. Makes it easier, I think. And if you get triggered by something, you can know, okay, that resonates. Right? So let's do this. Take a nice deep breath. We'll start with the angels. Oh, all the decks I read are in the description box below. Please do check out my description box. Like I said, I give good description box. But the cards, the decks I use are all at the bottom. Cool, cool. Nice deep breath. Let's ask the angels with the Doreen Virtue Healing with the angels cards. Breathe. Still point. My angels, please, one card in clarity for this Aries collective sun, moon, rising sign. Whoop, no, no, no. What do they need? Really, this is what whatever card this is going in the title. So what do they need, my angels? This Aries collective, sun, moon, rising sign. What do they need for this full moon in Leo to new moon next in Pisces, February 2020? Start us off. What does this Aries collective need? Oh, well, the first time this came up this time, I think romance. Okay, now look, romance, yes, can be that one-on-one romantic sexual thing, but you can have a romance with Chinese food. You can have a romance with, I don't know, French poetry. You can have a romance with anything. So yes, it's a one-on-one relationship, but it can be a one-on-one relationship with a person, a place, or a thing. I mean, I live on Long Island. I have a romance with the beaches here. They're some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. People always say that wherever they live, except some places. And I do. I love going to the beach. So, see, my voice even changed. So keep that in context. That can mean all sorts of different things. But I know for a bunch of you, you're like, oh my God, romance. That's what I need. I need romance. And you're talking the touch me. And I get you. But, you know, romance is such an art. It takes rehearsal, right? Keep that in mind. That just popped in. So what we're going to do is, since we have that as a foundation, right? That's going to be in the title, the word romance. That should get some views. We're going to talk to the divine feminine, the voice of the goddesses, the voice of the great goddess herself, the goddess of all names, through the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, to kind of feel out what you need in the yin, what you need in the more interior divine feminine aspect for, well, and it is a moon cycle, isn't it? We're talking full moon to new moon, so we're talking lunar, or literally cards on the back of this, moons on the back of these cards. Let's just take a deep breath. Energy's high for y'all. Not shocked, not shook, you're Aries. Still point. Oh, my goddesses, hi, please, one card in clarity. For this Aries collective, sun, moon, rising sign, what do they need? This full moon in Leo to new moon next in Pisces, February 2020. Please, the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, what do they need? Whew, that was strong. All of a sudden, the goddess Artemis, like full Amazon regalia in my third eye. This should be interesting. What you got? The moon. Artemis is a moon goddess. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, look, like I said, I'm a mystic, but still this shit shocks me every now and again. That shook me. That shook me just a tad. Now look, this is Yemaya in this deck. Totally about the ocean and the water and the tides and all of that stuff too. But with romance next to it, you're gonna really you need to really pay attention to your intuition. Look, intuition is not a gift. It is a skill. Everybody has it. You know who has the best intuition? Drug dealers, con men, stockbrokers, right? The best of them are really paying attention to more what's going on down here than any third eye stuff. So this idea that it's purely spiritual, yeah, but I'm sure though we all pray, no one's doing I can't imagine someone doing spiritual prayer and practice to avoid the narcs. Just saying, it's a very old term, I guess, at this point. So there are times where we feel like we don't know. the path. Like, we don't know what our intuitive guidance and grace is, and that's fine. With what's going on in the world right now, just empathically, the confusion, and we can't even call it fear anymore, it's terror. People are really terrified by what's going on in the world right now. There's a lot of static on the channel, but sometimes, and it's interesting because this is the full moon, and we're talking about a full moon to a new moon next, when you're standing at the side of a body of water, a lake, an ocean, what have you, and the full moon is above you, high in the sky, the path is revealed no matter where you stand. That was a revelation I had many years ago, standing at the beach in Cherry Grove at night, midnight, full moon, shining down. And I knew it anyway, but no matter where I stood, there was the silver path of intuition. Now, I didn't go walk out into the... Actually, I think I did dive into the waves. It was summer. Well, it was Cherry Grove. You bet your ass it was summer. So, you know, that thing of pay attention to your intuition, right? That divine feminine thing, that it's very easy to get emotion and intuition confused, right? But since we're talking about a full moon to a new moon next, to really get that, you can have an intuition in your gut and then have an emotion about that intuition. You need to keep an eye on that. You just need to kind of be like, okay, like almost like talk to your gut and say, you okay? What's going on down there, right? How does this feel? And what would love do with this feeling? It would say, it's okay to feel this, but now let's be not hyper vigilant, hyper alert, although that's very Aries, the warrior, but not even necessarily on defense, but aware, right? Levels of awareness, conscious, like being conscious of your breath. Be conscious of your gut. We all need to do that, but that is specifically indicated here, which is why we're going to turn to the mythic tarot. We did Daughters of the Moon for the divine feminine. We're going to do the mythic tarot for the divine masculine, the voice of the god or the gods. Nice deep breath. Still point. Oh my gods. Please. One card. In clarity. For this Aries collective. Sun, moon, rising signs. What do they need for this full moon in Leo to new moon next in Pisces? February 2020. My gods, please. What does the Aries collective need? What do they need? What do you need? Two major arcana cards. Come on. What are the odds? I mean, I'm sure certainly numerically there are odds of that happening. The card of the Fool, Dionysus, which is the well, you know what? The Fool is not the first card of the major arcana. It is the Zero, the Magician, the Witch, whatever the artist makes it to be, is the first card of the major arcana. This is the gap in between. It's the still point. It's just like when I... right? It's like we go to the world, the universe, and then Magician, High Priestess, and around we go again, right? So it is the blank. It is the faith from which all things come, the pregnant void from whence all things come to whence all things return. It's the Alpha and the Omega, right? Now, how does that translate into a what do I need read? Well, I think we're talking about an intuitive leap here. Not an intuitive leap year, although, yes, I believe it's a leap year, right? Is it? Yeah, sure as hell is. I've got my Llewellyn Witch's calendar right there. Something about taking a leap of faith. You need to take the leap of faith, but I'm hearing this so loud and clear because this is so Artemis. She's one of my goddesses. It's like, yes, but like in the forest, you can feel a tremor, right? You can feel hoofbeats somewhere in the forest nearby, but you don't know what it is. You got to go with instinct. Don't let your fear color what's happening here, or for that matter, if there are any romantic illusions or delusions at play. How conclusion jumping we go, right? Take the leap of faith, not the jump of conclusion. Yeah, particularly with the divine masculine, but you know what? That's Dionysus. He's my patron god, not just this year, which he is, but for my lifetime. I am a born Dionysus archetype, or a born priest of the vine god. Get to know me. That's why I want to do drunk tarot and why I don't drink that often. Anyway, that being said, we're going to move on. We're going to ask the voices of the Ascended Masters through the next 2 decks. Yes, we're double dipping on the Masters. Sounds like fun, actually. Masterful double dipping. With the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, we're going to start with just one of them. There are 4 suits in this deck. The suit of problems, which is half the deck, because it's good to know the problem, right, if there is one. The other half, this is the suit of luck, healing, and grace, equally divided. Cool, cool. So nice deep breath. Let's ask the Ascended Masters. If you're not familiar with the Ascended Masters, you can Google them, but there's a whole lot of crazy on there. They just considerate souls who have played the game, graduated, like have a master's degree, and they sort of reach back through the dimensional levels to help those who are willing. I don't even know about ready or able anymore. I think if you're willing, they'll help. So it seems. Well, look what's going on in the world, right? Nice deep breath. Let's get you what you need. Still point. There you are, my masters. Hello. Please, one card in clarity, my masters, for this Aries collective sun, moon, rising sign. What do they need for this full moon to new moon next, right? Full moon in Pisces to, full moon in Leo to new moon in Pisces, because we've got some very powerful cards here. 3 on the table. So really, this will probably give us some really interesting insight for the Aries collective. So please, what do they need this full moon to new moon next, February 2020? Okay. The problem cards have been coming up more so than the other 3, but like I said before in other videos, it's half the deck, so probabilities, that makes sense. This is literally the problem card of the problem suit, right? It's people with half a heart and half a heart, but the puzzle pieces don't fit together. Houston, we've got a problem. Now, the thing with that is, just right off the bat, and I know the author would never intend this, but it is that sort of idea of, you complete me. I'm a half and you're a half, and together we make a whole. Yeah, an asshole. No thank you. That's dependency. That is codependency. You are whole and complete into yourself. You are an eternal child of God. You really are never born. You never really die. So you never really sin. So you never really make mistakes, because you're a divine being. You're a manifestation of the quantum field, whole and complete into yourself. So mote it be. So what's the problem? It's definitely saying here, that's why I was feeling, it's like, get that there's a difference between emotion and intuition, and make sure that you're taking a leap of faith, not necessarily a leap of romantic delusion or illusion. Now, like I said, there is a thing with that romantic card. Doesn't have to be with a person. Like, for a while, I had a romance with Netflix when I first got it. Who doesn't, right? Oh, the Japanese animation. What do you think? Watch spiritual documentaries all the time. Look what I fucking do for a living, right? No, I like Chelsea Handler. I love me some Chelsea. She's amazing. I fucking love her. Well, her Pisces sun is the same degree as my Pisces moon. How could I not? She says how I feel. So with this, it's very easy for you to kind of take this in a way that with this card of the problem, make sure if you're feeling in your gut there's something off here, pay attention. Every relationship that I look back on that was like, damn it, I knew all along, I just didn't want to know. Even if the person lied or deceived or withheld information, right, sin of omission, I knew something was off, but I didn't want there to be something off, so I pretended it wasn't there, right? And I needed to go through that experience. I was scripted exactly that way. So it's just that thing. All right, they're redirecting. They do this. If you find yourself judging someone, and if you're on the spiritual path, it's no judgment is bad. No. Love the voice that's judging. It might not necessarily be what you think it is. In other words, yeah, oh, fucking asshole, what was that about? Fuck him. Now, let's not be judgmental. But if you think of that as a voice of a child in your heart that's been hurt before, it might very well say to you, like on the outside, a judgment that's a bit spiky, but if you let it have its voice and you think, well, thank you for saying that, thank you, you might find there's underneath that veneer of toxic lead, you burn that off, that there's this golden nugget of intuition that says something's off here. And that might be not just the voice of your inner child, the voice of your divine child, your divinity, your higher self at the core of your being saying something is off here. Pay attention. There is a problem, Houston. Now, that doesn't mean the problem can't be solved. That doesn't mean that the problem doesn't have a resolution. But what we're looking at right here, right now, what you need is to pay attention to here and watch your romantic tendencies to gloss things over. The rose-colored glasses are both if everything's happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. But sometimes, well, sometimes they're not so much rose-colored glasses as beer goggles. But, you know, that shit wears off, hopefully, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to turn to the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck. Get one healing mantra for you. Now that's why I said the next two decks would be the Ascended Master. So if they're going to give us the card of problem, they're going to give us a mantra to help heal it, right? It is literally the healing mantra. And Matt Kahn works so much with Ascended Masters and stuff, it just feels natural. So take a nice deep breath. Let's get you the right mantra for this one. Here we go. Exhale first. Inhale. Still point. My Ascended Masters, please. One card in clarity. The most truly helpful, please, most truly helpful healing mantra card for this Aries collective. Sun, Moon, Rising sign. What healing mantra do they most need for this full moon in Leo to new moon next in Pisces, February 2020? What do they need? What is the perfect healing mantra for this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign? Now, before I even look at what this is, one side of the card has the mantra itself, the other side the name of the card. I will read both. There's not a lot of writing on the cards themselves, but from the name of the card, I will find it in the cute little booklet, which has got a lot of cool information in a very short amount of space. So here we go. See, encountering conflict. Encountering conflict. Something's off here. Even if the conflict is just like we said, I feel something's off, but I don't want there to be something off, right? That thing, the difference between emotion, you can have an instinct and intuition, and then a feeling and emotion about that, right? So get not quite the same thing. The mantra, I don't choose sides, I take a stand. I don't choose sides, I take a stand. That's how I am politically. Right now it's like, I'm not choosing sides, I take a stand. I'm going to hear everybody out. And when I go into the voting booth, that's just between me and my own conscious and my higher self. Thank you very much, right? I don't have to take sides. I don't choose sides, I take a stand. So let me read you this one. Encountering, by the way, it says encountering conflict. When the fuck don't we encounter conflict? That's not the end of the world. But again, that conflict might be within an intuitive thing. The conflict of, do I trust my gut and run like hell, or do I jump? Maybe the gut is telling you jump for it if you're willing to say there's a problem here, and we'll fucking find out eventually, because sometimes Aries, y'all are balls to the wall that way. Encountering conflict. Encountering conflict. I don't choose sides, I take a stand. When conflict is encountered, two opposing viewpoints wrestle for a dominant position. Each hopes to achieve success by changing the other's viewpoint. Welcome to the modern era. Well, I guess it's always been, right? If encountering conflict from a conscious standpoint, you may realize one of the greatest gifts you can offer is allowing others to be heard. You may not agree with their argument, but you are embracing their needs simply by choosing to listen. And that's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but you get what he's saying. It's like you can still be loving without, and that's taking the stand, right? You don't have to agree with what they're saying, but you're going to encounter conflict. You can be loving and just listen, right? When you listen, instead of lash out, you are taking a stand for love. This is making the decision to anchor higher frequencies of light through the demonstration of your ethics, morals, and values, instead of matching the unconsciousness of others with equal amounts of aggression. So, people have been saying, well, we need to have a conversation about this, and we need to have a conversation about that. And a lot of it just seems to be people yelling their points of view at each other. Someone at some point has to say, all right, I don't need to take sides, but I need to take a stand, and I'm going to take a stand for love and respect and hear you, but that does not mean I have to agree with you. This mantra is ideal for settling arguments, makes sense, unraveling passive-aggressive behavior, at least your own, and releasing the tendency to blame. Because blame is a big part of unhappiness. Once you start releasing blame and just saying, all right, it was all part of the divine plan, unhappiness sort of unlifts gradually like a fog. It's kind of cool. So encountering conflict, and with this problem thing, there might be just things at heart that if there is a romantic thing here, that it's just, whether it's political or social or what have you, there's just a problem there. It doesn't mean it can't be solved, but that there is conflict that you need to know about, and that's the mantra. That's the mantra. I don't choose sides, I take a stand. So repeat that 10,000 times. It's signaling the soul, all right, I can at least breathe and listen to somebody, and I don't have to interject. I can just be there for them. I keep my fucking mouth shut is sometimes the easiest way too, but you play it as it goes. I've never known an Aries to do that. Anyway, we're now going to use the Whispers of Love Oracle, Voices of the Higher Self. I have found this deck very, very helpful personally, as well as with my personal clients, because sometimes it just calls it out and tells you exactly what to do. What do I need? You need to do this. Nice deep breath. Still point. The higher selves of all involved, which means your higher self, fifth dimensional or above, please. One card in clarity, a whisper of love for this Aries collective sun, moon, rising sign. What do they need this full moon in Leo to new moon next in Pisces, February 2020, please? What do they need? One card in clarity. That came pretty quick. Didn't even have to ask twice. Sometimes I have to because the answer is not coming clear or it doesn't click. And then suddenly it does. What's your higher self say? Act as if your partner is here. Act as if your partner is here. Whether you have someone in your life or not, act as if they are with you, so you will always consider them. Now that's interesting. Considering the word partner here with the romance card is a little bit of a, like a neon. It's as I say every now and again, it's a little on the nose. But if this is a romantic situation, as one would think, then it really is saying that the conflict that's going on here may or may not have to do with the romantic partner. It could be with the third party situation. It could be a parent. It could be an ex. It could be something where there is some kind of problem or conflict going on here. And particularly if you're, this is just what's coming through, particularly if you are very intuitive, you consider yourself empathic, more of the divine feminine, the divine masculine, more earth and water, symbolically speaking, not necessarily zodiacally speaking or planetarily speaking, then get that you might have to sort out, is this what I'm feeling or is this what they're feeling? And in terms of any discussion or argument or face-to-face conflict, just remember, so funny to listen, but not just to be there and be present, as we said, listening to them, to be loving in that way, but I'm getting here to listen here too. Like listen to the gut, because you might get like, this has nothing to do with me. Do you ever have that feeling? Down here, again, not up here. This has nothing to do with me is up here. But when it's more in the gut, right? It's like, this has nothing to do with me. So that thing of act as if your partner is here. If this is really truly a romantic thing, working on the path of true love, twin flame, soulmate, whatever the fuck you want to call it. To me, they're totally different things. You'll see if you haven't watched my shit before. Then that thing of really being, whether your partner is there or not, there's a soul contract in place, and you're going to be honorable, right? whether you have someone in your life or not, act as if they are with you, so you will always consider them. If there isn't a romantic partner and that's kind of what it is that you're wanting, same thing, right? Act as if they're here. Act as if they are with you, because in the quantum field, there's only one of us anyway. We're all manifestations of the quantum. So all that stuff is all scripted before we come in, before we are chosen to play the roles that we're in, right? So in terms of that encountering conflict, whether that's with the prospective romantic or current romantic or past romantic, just listen. Here as well as here. Tricky. But not as tricky, I'm sure, as this last card's going to be, because it's the Caroline Mace archetype deck. Gods help us. I love her. I love her so much. She is a tough cookie. But archetype cards are triggery as fuck. Why? Because on each card is the light and the shadow of a particular Jungian archetype. So that's why I always like debate on whether or not to use them in a read. Usually I save them only for the relationship-based ones, and we start with them, right? This time around, the guides, the collective, were like, no, you're going to end with it. You're going to end with it so that they really get to see what's the dominant archetype / soul power that is being alchemized from lead to gold, either in their energy field. So this card could be about you. It could be about somebody else, and we do have this conflict card showing here as well. Or it can be an archetype that's sort of like hanging in the air, right? Like even the apocalypse is an archetype, right? There's all sorts of archetypal stories at play in this world 24/7, 365. So we're going to ask the collective pantheons, all of them that we've heard from so far, all going to choose one of these to communicate what power needs to be moved from the shadow to light, from lead to gold. Take a nice deep breath, maybe 2 or 3 while I'm doing this. Here we go. Last card down. Ground. Still point. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. You yourselves have said, the angels, they need something about romance, right? What do they need? Something about romance. The goddesses, the moon, the intuitive, the emotional. The gods, the fool, the 0 card, the leap of faith, right? From whence all comes and to which all returns, that innocence, that initiative, very Aries. The masters give us not just the card of problem, but the card of encountering conflict with the mantra, I don't choose sides, I take a stand. And the higher selves of all involved, act as if your partner is here. Please, all of you, one card. What is the dominant soul power archetype for this Aries collective? Sun, moon, rising, Venus, sun, moon, rising signs for this full moon in Leo. There we go. To new moon in Pisces. Please, February 2020. What's that dominant archetype? They made me work for that one. They really made me work for that one. And I get it, because that card of conflict, like nobody wants conflict, but conflict makes us grow, and that's a whole other conversation. Let's see what the soul power is here. I knew it was going to be one of the sub-archetypes of the child archetype, being the first sign of the zodiac, Aries, just a feeling I had. But you got the magical child. You sort of lucked out, but the shadow side of this one is really fucking sticky, tricky too, right? So everybody has the child archetype because everybody has been a child. No one was born 50 years old. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. I don't care how jaded you were as a child, you shit your pants at some point. Everybody does, right? As babies. And then as you get older, anyway, whole other story. There are different subdivisions, if you like, sub-archetypes within the child archetype, and the magical child, think Harry Potter, absolutely good example. Here, let me read you the shadow side of it. Pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. That is a very childish point of view, particularly about romance, that you're not going to have to do anything, that it's all just, you're going to have to grow, right? Conflict is necessary in growth. In other words, think of an immune system. If antigens never affect the immune system, antibodies are never created. So if there is pessimism and depression, absolutely be aware of that within yourself. Now, honestly, I'm not getting that within you, particularly with that card of VIMEO, the intuition with the card of the Fool there, jumping into the new with romance. You might be dealing with a magical child archetype, but let me read you the light, because that might be you too. Only you'll know by how it feels in your body with a little contemplation. The light attribute. Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. Now that I can feel with our two tarot cards of the Moon and the Fool, with this card of romance, but get that there is a problem here and that you don't have to choose sides. You can take a stand, and whether the conflict is with this partner or not, act as if they're always there. Teach that child, whether it's you or you're dealing with the child, what it is to be honorable, as well as it can be that whatever this romance is, yes, it may be a magical romance, but you're going to have to find the balance between childlike, which is the innocent magical, like I always think Dalai Lama, childlike, so simple, so wise, so innocent, right, so compassionate. And in this case, really optimistic, right? Believing everything is possible. Or childish, which is really more Pee Wee Herman. So yeah, there's my the Dalai Lama, Pee Wee Herman. Oh, there's lots of variations, there's lots of degrees in between. But in a romantic contract, that can be a little tricky, dealing with pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, perhaps while the other one is believing anything is possible. That could be a tricky sticky if that's really where the heart pieces do not click together. So, my Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign, what a very interesting reading. And this mantra, just work it, really, seriously. I don't choose sides, I take a stand. Just chant it for a few days silently to yourself. Don't make too much of a big deal about it. It signals to the soul that you're ready to be more loving. You will be shown how. Cool, cool. Let's give you the blessing. May the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs be blessed with all that they need this full moon in Leo to new moon in Pisces, February 2020, that they may learn, that they may grow, that they may heal, that they may become the best that they can be. Sense their intuition, the guidance and the grace. Take the leaps of faith in romance where necessary, where healthy. That discovery of problems is part of the growth process, and they don't have to choose sides. They can just take a stand and be honorable, acting as if their partner is there with that magical child intact, evolving, healthier and healthier belief that everything is possible for the well-being of all. May they be so blessed. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you so much, my Aries. Thank you for watching. Again, please do like and subscribe. Check out the links below. There's good stuff down there. At least go watch. At least go watch the Clarifying Drunk Tarot, because that's my favorite. And I think you will enjoy it too. And my voice is starting to crack a little bit, which means I'm going to take a break. I'm going to do a clarifying video on Celtic Cross, because the Path of True Love reads, I was told to do Celtic Cross. Oldie but a goodie, cut my teeth on that when I was 12 years old, right? So this should be really, really fun. Cannot thank you so much for watching. Cannot thank you enough, I should say, for watching. So wishing you the very best and the very blessed, as I always do. But for now, my darlings, my Aries, my Rams, hail, farewell, and blessed be.